All right. I'm hanging out right now with your next ones up MVPs. We got Kiera Gregory over here and Sierra Parchment. How you ladies feeling right now?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Feel real good.
We gotta save. I saved you. You see, I should ball too. All right, I just want to know really quickly, for the people that don't know, where are you from and what school do you currently play at, Ciara?
I'm from Whitby, Ontario, and I go to Fort Erie International Academy.
Okay, nice. What about you, Kiara?
Yeah, we go to school together at Fort Erie. I'm from Pickering, Ontario.
Big up Pickering. All right, I wanted to know if you guys have any experience in these all-Canadian games. Have you guys played in these games before?
Yeah, I've been in it like my whole high school career from like grade 9. I won MVP that year, and then last year as well with CC won MVP, and then this year as well I won MVP.
So these MVPs are no joke right now. What are your biggest takeaways from the game you just played this week?
I think it's just important to have fun in this game. It really helps us do that, so yeah.
Having fun? What about you?
Well, more just because, I won MVP, really that, like, nobody in this country in 2025 can really guard me for real. And, this game is, like, real fun. So I just go out there, have fun, do what I want.
That's it. Okay, and last but not least, I don't know if you guys know where your college mind is going yet, like where you want to commit to, but, like, what do you think right now? Where's your heart at? Where do you want to go for college?
I'm not sure yet, so, yeah, you're going to have to figure that out.
Okay, keeping it a secret. What about you?
It's a bit of a crazy question, but I don't really know. I don't know yet.
Okay, how about this one? What would you compare your game to? Who would you say your game compares to in the NBA, WNBA, or even in college? Is there somebody that you would say it's similar to? Kiara?
Well, I hear, like, when I was younger, and even now, I hear, like, Kyle Lowry, Kyrie Irving, Rory Harmon as well. I like to watch her, too. But, yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Sierra?
I'd say Brianna Stewart.
Brandon Stewart, all right. Well, here we have it, the MVPs of the Next One's Up game. Stay tuned for more. These girls aren't done yet. All right, give it up for our MVPs. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada. We stand on guard for this.
For this.
And this. True North, strong and free.
My country.
Glorious and free.
My time.
Our time.
Go time.
Showtime.
With glowing hearts.
We see the rise.
Of the best. Of the best.
The best.
High school ballers.
From all across Canada.
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
It's time to stand on guard.
For this.
For this.
For us.
For us.
At the All-Canadian Games.
Yes, oh Canada. Hello Canada and welcome. Hello world. Rod Black, Chris McKee with you. And here we are at the All-Canadian Games. You just heard all of the great young players talking about what their country means to them. Basketball, Chris, also means a lot to them.
Yeah, I mean, the best of the best here in the country. I mean, some of the most decorated players in the history of Canadian basketball, of course, led by Toby Fournier, the all-world, the Duke commit, OSBA
The dunker.
MVP. The dunker, yeah, won the women's slam dunk competition last night. I mean, we're going to be saying that name quite a bit. She's already got 2 MVPs in this game on her resume, and so let's see if she can get number 3.
Jasmine Bosco is someone else who we're going to watch. She comes from great lineage. I would expect a lot of these players, like for a showcase, sometimes a showcase is about getting a college commitment. And for some players, that's what this is about. Toby and Jasmine already have their commits.
Yeah, Jasmine headed to Villanova. She's going to be playing in the Big East. I mean, these 2 women also part of the Canadian senior women's national team. They're actually roommates on the road. They know each other really well, and so it's going to be fun to see them kind of go head-to-head against each other today.
This is fantastic. If you've never been with us at the All-Canadian Games, new name, same game, and it's the best high schoolers in Canada selected by committee who have come here to the Athlete Institute in Orangeville, just about, I guess, about an hour and 15 north of the city, northwest of the city.
Depends how much of a lead foot you got, like me,
well,
right? You know, that's
or
it.
you have a helicopter, don't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway, let's bring you inside here. The player introductions are coming up, and we've got a full house here today. We've got the high school boys coming a little bit later here at Athlete Institute, but this place has become a spawning ground through the years, not only for this event because of the founder, Jesse Tipping, who came up with this years ago, and the All-Canadian Games has also been a great training ground, proving ground for many great young Canadian players.
Well, especially this gym, the home of Jamal Murray. You might be familiar with him, the NBA champ with the Denver Nuggets, O'Shea Brissett, Thon Maker, Lou Gensdorf with Oklahoma City. So many talented young men, and now women coming through this gym as well.
Which is even better when you think about it through the years. And, of course, the Canadian Women's Olympic team getting ready this summer. So, too, the men's team. We're going to have an incredible summer. This is the golden era in Canadian basketball, and we're just glad that you're with us for the All-Canadian Games.
I think we're going to get a medal this year in Paris. I mean, that's got to be on the resume. No more, nice guy finishes.
Maybe two
yeah,
medals.
That's it. That's absolutely, yeah.
Getting ready for the anthems and the player introductions here, and again, players from coast to coast to coast.
Ready for the start of the national anthem. It's coming up in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able and remove your hats for the playing of our Canadian national anthem.
Nice crowd settling in on this Easter weekend. Happy Easter to all as we get ready to throw some balls in the basket, not some eggs in the basket this weekend here. And we've got the high school girls game and the boys game coming later today from just outside Toronto. Player introductions coming up here now. Well, those are the players that we're going to watch today, and so many of them so proud to be here. Some have played here before in this game or a lower ranked game in classification of age, but for the newbies that I had a chance to chat with on Thursday, they were over the moon, especially getting some of the drip they were getting.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's an icing on the cake, being involved here. They've all accomplished so many great things over the past year. This isn't going to make or break any one of these players. It's just that nice little cherry on the top. I had a Fosa Oliogu, the 5-star recruit, helping me do the slam dunk competition. He's like, it's finally fun. We get so much pressure all year long. It's finally, we get to have fun with our friends for a week.
Well,
and that's what it is.
And it does get competitive based on some of the games previously. One thing you don't want to do, especially with some of your pals, is to be shown up. And so we're ready to roll here.
I did the boys' next one's game on Thursday, which is the grade 11s for the most part. The game was about 155-48. It was competitive back and forth. It wasn't your NBA All-Star type of thing. I mean, no defense, but hey, heck of a game.
Yeah, here we go. The All-Canadian games are about to begin with the girls' game. Toby Fournier wins the tip back to Nyadang Yeshu. Wasn't supposed to really play.
Yeah, Nyadang's been injured for a couple weeks. I did the OSBA Championships 2 weeks ago. She was out for pretty much the better part of the season, so nice to see her back on the floor and getting to finish off with the All-Canadian game.
Team Red against Team Black. Again, I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to the way they set the teams up. We have our first foul into the line.
Jasmine Bosco, the Villanova commit.
Again, great history. Dad's so involved in the game, Shane Bosco. The whole family ballers. So quickly, 2-0. Running the floor for Team Red. Number 6, Delaney Gibb. Chantel Stewart, back to Gibb. She can shoot it, she can pass it. Good idea to pass it to this young lady, Toby Fournier.
Well, Toby misses on her first go. You don't often hear that too much from Toby, but she's still working on her game. She's still got to work, I think, on her post moves a little bit, but just outstanding. I mean, best player in the country over the past couple of years.
Heading to Duke to be a Blue Devil, Efi Nwobi.
Olivia Leung, one of Toby's teammates with Crestwood. She's headed to Dayton. She's going to be a flyer.
Great program down there, the Midwest. And Nyadang, who was on the injured list this week, but puts it up and in. Scoop and score here, ties the game at 2.
Nyadang out of Calgary, Alberta, plays for Fort Erie, one of the top programs in the country as well at the prep level.
Olivia Leung, little spin move, turns, and she's off. That's ripped down by Delaney. Left-hand feed up the floor, but that's taken away by Team Black.
You'll see the players be a little bit more adventurous in a game like this. So a few passes that would normally, tear a coach's hair out, but they can get away with it in a game like this.
Will they actually have set plays?
They actually have worked on a few. I saw, they had a few practices, so I think more they save that for those key moments in the game. And there's
Toby Fournier up and in with the left hand, 4-2, Team Red. 12-minute quarters at the All-Canadian Games, the high school girls game. Jasmine Bosco, little circus shot, doesn't fall.
Well, Bosco led the OSBA in scoring with 20 points a game, so she's going to fill it up today.
Toby again cleans up the garbage underneath. Toby Fournier has a pair of buckets early on, 6-2, Team Red.
Well, good pace to the game so far. Ladies just kind of working the nerves out, and there's a block by Delaney Gibb.
Delaney Gibb, Raymond High School in Raymond, Alberta. And I know Raymond, Alberta.
Not far from the Montana border.
Not far from the Montana border, but from my CFL days, the brothers Ralph, all 3 brothers, Brock, Brett, and Jim, hail from Raymond, Alberta, and they all won Grey Cups. And until I met Delaney Gibb, that was the only other person I met that had been a champion at any level. And Delaney's off to BYU at Brigham Young, great program there.
Yeah, a number of offers for Delaney. She took visits to Utah, Oregon State, Oklahoma State, a whole bunch, and so finally settled on Brigham Young.
Devine Toumba hails from Quebec. 8-2 Team Red early on here. See the bench come into play soon. Patricia Augustin is off underneath, cleaning it up, but nice defense in the paint. Once again for Nyadeng.
Nyadeng Yeesh.
One of many players from the Fort Erie International Academy making the trek, and a steal again for Team Black, and to the rack goes Cyan John. Breaks a drought here for Team Black.
Well, Cyan, a part of the Capital Courts program out of Ottawa, and there's Delaney Gibb with a bucket.
Delaney again talked about her family this week and how they've all been involved in her game. Parents, siblings. Toby Fournier runs the floor. She can do it all. Tumba spins off the front rim. 10-4 early on here, and Bosco can't convert. Fournier again, that's about her 4th rebound already.
So for those that tuned in Thursday night to the games, I had Jasmine Bosco in the broadcast booth helping me out as my color commentator for the next one's games. I thought,
future broadcaster,
who knows these players better than Jasmine Bosco?
Yes.
She was awesome.
She is a delight. Chance to sit down and chat with her. Nyadeng Ish again.
Well, 12-4 Team Red, 7:55 to go opening quarter.
Team Black has had a great number of opportunities. They've just been unable to convert like that. A lot of misses so far.
Hopefully they'll settle down here in the next couple minutes.
Some nerves. There's a nice three-point shot, the first from Delaney Gibb.
Delaney, no stranger to this team, no stranger to the Canadian national team program, part of the U19.
Bosco, nice pump fake, and now Toby Fournier, who told me she wants to dunk in game today. And that's another bucket for Toby Fournier, the Toronto native who plays at Crestwood Prep.
You know, I did the OSBA Championships a couple weeks ago where Toby won back-to-back. Packed house at the Pan Am Center. She had a wide-open lay-in. The whole gym was waiting for the dunk, and she didn't. She ended up doing it, and you can hear that gasp of disappointment. So hopefully she can get one today.
I'll tell you what this game is not sponsored by, the Fox 40 whistle. There haven't been many whistles so far.
I'm all right with that.
I like it too. Bosco, there's the whistle. And it's 17-6 early on here for Team Red, led by Delaney Gibb, led by Toby Fournier here at the All-Canadian Games, and we will be back.
The All-Canadian Games are hosted by Athlete Institute, a leader in athlete development, offering leagues, camps, and clinics for all ages and skill levels.
I'm Jasmine Bosco, and I'm from Milton, Ontario.
My name is Alexandre Tesset. I'm from Quebec City, Quebec, and I play for Capital Courts Academy.
My name is Sarah Hurley, and I'm from Niagara.
I'm Toby Fournier, and you're watching the All-Canadian Games.
And we welcome you back live now, wherever you're watching or listening on the stream here from the Athlete Institute in Orangeville, Ontario, the All-Canadian Games. It's been going on, by the way, for a few days now. This is the culmination of a kind of a week-long celebration of teenage basketball.
Yeah, Wednesday they had what they call the Futures Game, which is essentially the grade 9 and 10s, both boys and girls. Thursday was the next ones, the 11s, basically the non-graduating players. And then last night we had the three-point and slam dunk competition, which is always one of the highlights of the week. And
we'll show some highlights later, and there were tons. I, quite frankly, like high school dunk competitions better than the NBA competition at times.
Oh, I know. I've done the dunk competition here for 5 or 6 years, and I'm sitting watching the NBA slam dunk going, I know high school kids that can dunk better than this.
Yes,
so.
yes. Great night last night here in Orangeville, and some subs now come into the game. 17-6 Team Red here. Running the floor will be Izzy Foost. Toby Fournier stays out there, and a steal from Delaney. Fournier couldn't get the rebound. Looks like she's going to go to the line. She's going to shoot here.
Well, Cyan John blocked that first attempt. Toby had a couple cracks at it, and then finally a foul from Cyan. Cyan's headed to Fairfield University, going to play for the Stags.
A Bolton, Ontario. Toby Fournier, as you might expect, has led the way so far here. 6.5 to go in the first quarter.
I had a chance to chat with Toby's father, Craig, a couple weeks ago after the OSBA championships, and I asked him, when was the first time you knew your daughter was a little different? He told me when she was 13 at an AAU tournament in Kentucky, 80 courts, and she was the best one out of the entire group. Everyone talking about it.
Bosco, nice play there, and the other end, Fournier misses, rebound to Team Black. Here they come, trying to get a run back into this early on.
Jasmine Bosco, the true point guard. Oh, that
stops
was nasty.
And couldn't pop. Baseline.
Well, everything but the finish from Jasmine on that. We're seeing Tana Becker out there right now, number 7. Yeah.
Shout out Winnipeg.
She's headed to
center of the universe. Just wanted to let you know that.
I think you're a little biased, right?
Yeah, I am. By the way, has become a basketball mecca the last few years.
No doubt.
Another three-point shot. Air ball here, and no whistle. Looked like a foul underneath. And end line violation. Ball was out of bounds. 19-8's the score.
There was Eva Roos, who had a crack at it, just came off the bench all the way from North Vancouver, BC. She's headed to the University of San Diego, where on the men's side, David Simon, who was the All-Canadian Player of the Year last year, now playing at University of San Diego as well.
Nothing like some California weather.
Oh, well, David Simon's from Edmonton. He's like, you're damn right I'm going to San Diego.
Yeah, a lot of commits here have found their way. Wherever you go, that's the main thing. Stella Scrow, she can shoot it. Not this time. Stella's from Toronto, Royal Crown Academy.
The three-point champ last night on the women's side. I had my money on her going in.
Well,
she didn't disappoint for me.
We'll see her probably jack up a few. Oh, nice steal here. Guess who? Bosco. End to end. Jasmine puts it up and in. Wanted a whistle, didn't get, and suddenly it's a 9-point game with 5 to go in this opening quarter.
Good sportsmanship from Taya Steinauer there. Not her teammate in this game, but still helping her up off the floor.
Double team here comes, and an up and in. Avery Sussex from Coquitlam. She's also heading to the Sunshine State. She's going to UC Davis out of Riverside Secondary School.
Avery, the British Columbia MVP in high school. Top player in the province this past year.
Scrow. Cyan Jean.
Shot
nice
clock running
move.
down.
Look at this. Underneath, and it doesn't go somehow. That's been kind of the luck of Team Black right now.
Well, all team red in the opening minutes, 21-10, 4:15 to go.
More subs coming in. Sarah Hurley comes in for Team Black. Hurley out of Lincoln Prep, and a nice feed underneath in the paint again, and a rebound. Team Red controls once more.
Anastasia Veljevic missed on her first go. There's Steinauer back the other way.
So, end to end. Scroll once more. Stolen again. Back come Team Red. And Avery. Ball handler. Oh, whoa.
Veljevic denies.
Another great steal. And they are just not able to capitalize on the offensive end after the steal. No transition here right now for Team Black.
Who would have thought defense in an all-star game, right?
Yes,
It's great to see.
Yes, it is. Sussex stops and doesn't get that to drop. Here is Veljevic. Anastasia. Mississauga. Getting to Fordham. Oh, a little Euro step. Scroll. No. And ripped down once again. Back the other way come Team Red. Tanya Steinauer. Her dad really well.
Orlando, of course, was the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats the past 5 years.
And
now
just
moved
a good
over
dude.
to the president of football operations.
And a great player in his time. And a nice basket by Veljevic. Anastasia Veljevic.
Well, Anastasia, not the only good player in her family. Her sister Katarina over at Royal Crown, heck of a player in her own right as well.
Deep three. Valjevic, again the Euro. And a block one more time. Team Red leads 21-12 here at the All-Canadian Games. Spin move underneath, and Rebecca Millon. And 21-12 is the score.
That was great defense down the other end. Eva Roos stood there. You know, so many players at this level want to jump. They got that tendency. She stood there, put her hands up, easy block, transition back the other way.
Timeout in Orangeville, and we will be back.
The All-Canadian Games are presented by Nike. Just do it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Ivory Latta, WNBA player, and right now you're watching the best high school girls in the All-Canadian Games. Let's go!
Nice cameo. Thank you to Ivory Latta, who a lot of these young players would look up to. A WNBA star. Had a chance to be with Ivory last week at the Tournament of Stars. You're going to get a few cameos today from some NBAers who wanted to give some shout outs to these high school players during the All-Canadian Games.
Well, speaking of WNBA, one former player from this game, Aaliyah Edwards, now down at UConn, declared she's not going back to UConn. She's put her name in the WNBA draft, so
I absolutely love her as a player, as a person. Watched her grow up. She made her commitment. One of our broadcasts. Best hair in the game.
Absolutely. And
the
also
Kobe Bryant hair.
Big shout out to her mom, Jackie. Amazing influence.
Yes.
Love Jackie. Got to know her over the years as well.
Oh, at the line. 22-12 with 2:23 to go. This is Rebecca Millon. Uncommitted. So you see a few uncommitted players here. And again, this is not the turning point. For some of them still have opportunities down the road, but every time you're on the floor when you're uncommitted, there's a chance that you could get somebody's eyeballs.
Well, you know, the transfer portal's changed so much right now. You know, coaches want 23, 24-year-old players, and that goes out of bounds instead of the 18, 19-year-old players. And so a lot of them just kind of wait it out, wait to see what happens in the transfer portal, and then they'll get their commitments later on.
11-point lead, biggest lead of the game, and launching is Valjevic. Team Black has not hit a three-pointer yet. Team Red has.
Yeah, Team Black's got to settle down. Something simple here, easy lay-in. Someone drive to the hoop, spread things out. There's a good opportunity right now.
Well, sometimes just taking the twos. Take your twos if those threes aren't dropping. You watch Mark Drabnis, it can drive somebody crazy. Look at this steal here by number 4, Kimora Morgan. Up and no, blocked a couple of times. That ball won't fall.
Eva Roos, good defense for Team Red. There's Davine Toomba the other way.
Davine Toomba. Plays at Royal Crown. Know that facility well.
Well, I'm a Scarborough guy, Rod, so I go in to watch games often just because they're about 10 minutes from my house, so I watch a bunch of the women's games and called a bunch of them during the season.
Well, Noah, too, is doing the Scarborough Shooting Stars games. That's their home court for practice. Oh, finally, what a nice move. Maybe the basket of the game so far from Patricia Augustin.
I absolutely love Patricia Augustine's game. I mean, she's just an absolute pit bull out there, a real competitor, and just one of the best players in the country.
Final 40 seconds, first quarter dominated by Team Red, but the black team coming back here thanks to Patricia.
So Patricia is still one of the youngsters. She's just a 2025, so a lot of high school hoops left for her.
Toomba trying to scoop it. 3-ball incoming. Yes, from the corner. Rebecca Millon.
Well, all Team Red in the opening quarter. We're under 20 seconds left. 27-16. Team Black got to catch up here.
27-16 with 10 seconds left here. Playing for final shot. There's Kimora Morgan. And Team Red's going to get the last shot. And they're going to get the last lay-in at the buzzer and a foul.
And one.
Wow. Rebecca Millon, since she's come off the bench, may rival Toby Fournier for the early MVP of this game so far.
Rebecca was a late addition to the game. When they did the initial announcement, she wasn't involved. I guess someone else dropped out, and Rebecca got the slide in, and she's making the most of the opportunity right now.
From the nation's capital, Capital Courts Academy. And the roll of the rim. Final second. And all Team Red, Chris McKee, in that first quarter, led by Toby Fournier, Delaney Gibb, and Rebecca Milon.
Yeah, they just look a little bit more settled. You talk about, did they practice any plays? Well, it looks like Team Red, they know each other really well. Team Black, all out of sorts. Nobody knows where they want to be, and so they just got to settle down and get back to simple hoops.
Yet Team Black probably had 6 or 7 steals, and off those turnovers got 0 points.
Yeah,
this could be a completely different game.
Yeah, Bosco missed a couple open lay-ins. Patricia Augustine missed one, and so I think we'll get there. First quarter out of the way. Now the ladies can hoop.
Yeah, let them go now. And great to see the kids here, young boys and girls. This is the place. Come to this game. Bring your kids to this game, because this is the place you can be inspired. Be inspired by looking up at the banners. You know, when you see Iggy's up there and O'Shea, Brissett, and Jamal Murray, all the posters around here, it's become a real mecca for basketball north of Toronto.
Well, yeah, Rod, I've been the play-by-play guy for Orangeville Prep for 7 seasons now. We've had one of the best men's teams to raise, and this was the first year we had a women's program. So hopefully, over the next couple of years, they had a great first season, finishing, they lost in the Trillium final, which is essentially the second division, and so hopefully onward and upward for the Orangeville women's program as well.
Toby Fournier had 6 early on. 4 points for Milon. 5 points for Delaney Gibb, leading the way.
We've got Team Black. So 4 for Bosco, 2 for Veljovic, 2 for Tana Becca, 4 for Patricia Augustine, and a bucket for Cyan John for Team Black.
So Fournier's coming back out. Starters coming back out to start this second quarter. Coming at halftime, we'll have the shot from the spot, brought to you by one of the sponsors here, Flair Airlines. That's a great opportunity to win a trip. Just got to sink a basket from mid-court.
Well, we had one. Taylor Williams jumped up during the next one's game. She hit a half court during the halftime of one of those games.
Yeah,
I have to explain. That's not a ringer. That's a university player right there.
Yeah, yes. So, see what they said in the huddle as well for Team Black. Try to probably, as you mentioned, just settle down here. Get your feet into the game. Take good shots. I'll tell you one thing. Their hustle level is certainly up.
Yeah, they got to start hitting some shots from behind the arc as well. I mean, you know, they got the likes of Stella Scrow, just won the 3-point competition, the young lady that's headed to San Jose State. They got a lot of ladies that can hit the 3, so once they get one, it'll start to flow. Olivia Leung, one of the best 3-point shooters as well. There's Kamara Morgan.
Kamara Morgan with the shot, that's for 2. Just inside the arc.
There you go, exactly what we're talking about. Nothing but net on that one, really clean.
So Team Red with Fournier, the low post. Chantel Stewart with the miss.
Chantel from Crestwood, another back-to-back champ in the USBA. She's headed to Furman, going to play down in the Southern Conference.
You know what I find crazy about her story is that she wasn't even into basketball when she was a kid. She was a soccer player.
Quite a few of them, like Jasmine Bosco, the same. It wasn't until she was about grade 4 or 5 that she switched over.
Olivia Leung lost the ball there. And she was fouled, so we'll go to the line and see if they can get this back down to single digits. And if you do, as we know in basketball, anything is possible.
There's Olivia from Calgary. She was at the Basketball Without Borders camp during NBA All-Star Weekend. Undefeated season with Crestwood in the OSBA this year.
That's some season. Says a lot, too, about the way the game has grown for everybody, boys and girls, everywhere you get a chance to play. And yeah, we talk about commitments. Opportunity to play at another level, wherever it is in the United States, Canada, if it's in Europe, wherever. Oh, look at this. It goes! A little circus shot from Chantel Stewart.
Well, it rolled around every bit of the rim, finally dropped for her.
Every piece. Deep three. No. Morgan, rebound, ripped down, and Nyadeng coming back here. Nyadeng with a little Heisman move there, kind of a push off, and it will go the other way. 32-19 the score. 10:43 to go in the second quarter.
Some tough D from Patricia Augustin right there. Got a hand in there. I was talking about her during the OSBA. I mean, whatever university she goes to, they might want to get her a helmet and some shoulder pads because she could play running back. She's just.
Uh-oh, lights go up, but they come back on. Shooting the lights out finally. And there is Kamora Morgan, the Oshawa native, and they called an extra one on that, so she has a chance to make this a three-point play and 10-point game.
Looks like we went to a basketball game and a rave broke out with the lights turning off.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Play night game in the middle of the day.
Get some house music bumping.
Yes, yes. I don't mind the music bumping during a game.
I like it.
I like it a lot. It's one of the beauties of basketball. Here's Delaney. Good handles here. Watch closely. Oh, behind her back, Delaney Gibb. No, Fournier there, yes.
Well, Toby Fournier doing what she does best, cleaning up the mess. She's unstoppable in the paint, just so good.
Another three, long one, all net. And Fournier gives it to Patricia Augustin, kind of says, in my face, are you kidding me?
Well, Team Black looks to have settled down now. We had that shot from Morgan and now Augustine, back-to-back long jumpers, so they're looking good.
Off her foot. Avery Sussex now.
6 on the shot clock.
4 on the shot clock. 3 turning, blocked. Another steal here as Bosco make that. Number 8, Sarah Hurley. Hurley hurls one, no.
Well, Hurley mentioned out of Lincoln Prep. She's headed to Cleveland State next year.
The reverse here. They said they wanted to get it to single digits. That's what they're doing, 34-25. Team Black just seems to have a little more flow at the offensive end right now.
Yeah, you want to talk about, real coaches make adjustments at the breaks, and so it looks like Team Black drawn up at least a few things for them to go out there and do, and they're executing well.
Again, this is the early game of the doubleheader today. The high school boys on the floor showcasing their skills later today.
Well, we use the term boys loosely, Rob. Remember
It's
we got 7'7" Olivier Rioux in the game.
And boys and girls loosely, but that's what they are in high school. It's like the teenagers, the teens, the Titanic teens. Here's Delaney Gibb.
Wasn't too many 7'7" guys in my high
school.
No.
Yeah. Oh, nice play. Great feed from Delaney Gibb, and finishing it up is Eva Rose.
Eva Roos, 2-time North Shore Player of the Year.
Fournier again, double digits now for her. Back to 13 is the lead. Oh, and a steal. She gonna throw it down? Yes, whoa! Try again. Well, she wanted it.
A little anticlimactic, but
yeah,
hey.
That was her opportunity. And I would say she's probably gonna get another one.
Well, now she's gonna be hell-bent on getting that next one.
Well, again, through the years, it's a fascination, obviously, the dunk. Not many female players have dunked before in games. Candace Parker, one of the most famous, of course, and being able to do it in a game tells you a lot about the vertical, the height, the game.
Toby's got a teammate that played in the next one's game, Agat McKeer. She can also dunk in game as well.
I think they work on that. Oh, there's a steal that looked like a foul on a reach-in. A little smile there from Delaney. Working against Olivia Leung.
A little yank on the jersey from Delaney, and that'll send her to the bench for a minute. She looks a little gassed.
And it's a timeout on the floor, 40-25. Biggest lead of the game right now for Team Red at the girls' game at the All-Canadian Games in Orangeville. And we'll be right back.
Visit their Orangeville location on French Drive. Kia, movement that inspires.
I'm Chantal Stewart, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario. Eva Roos, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Fifi Nawabi, Calgary, Alberta.
I'm Cyan John. You're watching the All Canadian Games.
Great chance to meet the young ladies. Not only representing their high school or their club teams, will soon represent their university teams. What a time in their life right now for these young players, getting a chance to go to university or college, wherever it may be, and then maybe even potentially down the road a professional offer somewhere. Something that about 2 decades ago wasn't possible, and thankfully it is now.
Yeah, you know what, Rod, I've got a son that's a university athlete as well, plays university soccer up at Algoma. I know you have a son as well that does the same, and I just preach to him, milk this out as long as you can. Take every
get
opportunity.
Off my
you can.
payroll.
Yeah, the real world's, it's not a lot of fun, so stick here as long as you can.
Yeah, and get to university, get that education, and by the way, sport is the best education you can get as well. What an opportunity to represent your school. This is a nice play there. Working on Fournier, number 10, Cyan Jean. Really strong move to the bucket.
Cyan's so tough, 6'3", big frame on her. She can out-muscle just about anyone at this level of hoops.
That could be a charge. It is. Fournier helps up the defender.
Eva Roos put her shoulder into Cyan.
Oh, that is Eva Roost.
Yeah. Eva from a really athletic family. Dad played volleyball at UBC. And mom as well played at UBC, but at hoops.
13-point lead, trying to shoot their way back as Team Black. Veljovic, little dish on the inside, block there. Fournier's so good defensively too. Bringing it the other way, Rebecca Milon. Steinauer, yes, for 3.
A bit more like it after a good little run from Team Black. Taya Steinauer with the response from Team Red.
Nice scoop there from the Winnipegger, Tana Becker.
Tana also a part of that Basketball Without Borders during NBA All-Star Weekend down in Vegas. They never sent me to Vegas when I was in high school.
Well, there's a reason for that. Fournier through the legs to the bucket. Toby Fournier leading all scorers right now. 6.5 to go before halftime. At the All-Canadian Games, Scro needs this. No, he's been off today. 3-point champion last night here in Orangeville.
One of the things I love about Stella's game is she's like that quarterback who throws an interception. Good quarterbacks go out and throw a longer pass. They don't get scared. Stella, she'll go out, next open look, she'll put it up.
Shooters shoot, and they can also pass. Again, Becker, the receiving end of a nice feed from Stella Scro.
Tana Becker running the floor.
Fournier popping out. Working with Roost. Fournier strong to the bucket, and she'll go back to the line. What a play by Toby Fournier.
Toby must be blessed today because, during her regular game, she gets doubled and triple teams every single game. She's the main focus. Here, they're not necessarily doing that, so she's got a lot more room to operate than she normally does. Mentioned Toby's dad, Craig. Toby's mom, Anais, a famous Canadian actress, was on Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. I knew growing up, loved watching her.
Drake was on that show too.
Well, that was the later one.
That's a later one.
Yeah, she was on the original. Yeah. Played the character Lucy.
I did not know that. Wow. Toby's such an engaging personality, great player. Bosco is off, and she can just ball. Become one of Canada's great players down the road. We've had so many good ones. 3-pointers off. 16-point advantage, almost stolen here. Bosco stops, needs it, no.
Foot was on the line, it would have been a 2. Jasmine a little frustrated, you can see. You wonder, hey, are these young ladies taking the game seriously? You see Bosco frustrated right now. She wants
especially when you miss. Fournier is going to sit down. That's good news for Team Black right now as Alexandre Bissette comes in from Quebec City.
16-point lead, Team Red approaching the 5-minute mark, opening half.
There's Alexandre, crossover, the knife and a pass underneath, and it's stolen right back. And to the rim and in. That is Rebecca Milon again, getting close to double digits here. She's been a spark plug off the bench. Scrow, right hand scoop shot and scores it.
Love Stella's game mentioned. She's headed up to San Jose State. Another kid from Toronto heading up to California.
Veljovic, the steal. And Becker, no. Bosco tried to get the rebound too. Here comes Davine Tumba. The set, that's off. They'll let that go out of bounds. 16-point lead again. Every time Team Black kind of encroaches near that single-digit deficit, Team Red kind of just wakes up a little bit. And one thing they've done is they've really worked the paint.
Yeah, so far so good right now for Team Black as well. The second quarter, they look a little bit more alive and possessed. There's Sarah Hurley. Veljovic had the wide open look, didn't want it.
And Veljovic. Little swing pass now. Delaney back on the floor. She's going to be a roommate with her sister, Sage, who is playing basketball down south as Delaney's going to BYU. Sage will be going to Utah Valley, is playing there, so they get to be roommates down there in Utah. Great programs, both schools.
Absolutely.
The Gibbs sisters.
Well, we had Big Maple, Fardaws Amick was at Utah Valley for a couple of years.
51-33, Toby Fournier leads the way here in Orangeville at the All-Canadian Games, and we will be right back.
The All-Canadian Games are presented by Nike. Just do it.
I'm Lydia Ngich and I'm from Calgary.
Hi, I'm Taylor Williams. I'm from Ajax, Ontario.
My name is Kamora Morgan and I'm from Oshawa.
My name is Anastasia Veljovic, and you're watching the All-Canadian Games.
And we are back here in Orangeville, Athlete Institute, All-Canadian Games, boys game coming up later, the men's game, the girls game, the women's game, young women's game on right now. The high schoolers, best high schoolers across Canada getting a chance to show their stuff.
Yeah, a lot of fun. You know what's funny? When I tell people I do commentating for high school basketball, they look at me like, oh, that's cute, because they think it's like their high school. I'm like, no. It's a little different.
This isn't like watching Hoosiers.
Yeah.
This is different. Yeah, basketball has just grown leaps and bounds through the years, and it had to. It had to for Canada to get back to the Olympics, to become really one of the world powers now that we are. It starts at a young age, and Delaney Gibb, easy steal, and the lay-in. Make it a 20-point advantage for Team Red.
You know, a lot of people talk about Delaney because she's still playing at a regular high school out there, Raymond High School. There's Veljovic for Team Black. Not a part of like some prep program, but still getting the opportunities to go down south. You don't have to be at a big expensive prep program.
Well, you know, the ball doesn't look at it and say, hey, this is an expensive prep program, or this is a great place to be. The ball doesn't look back at you saying, that's not good form, or that is. It says, hey, that's the right spin, that's the right person, and you put the hours in and the miles in, like clearly she has, and these players have, that's when you rise up to games like this.
And there's so many scouts and involved in stuff like that. Not even just coaches. There's so many people pointing these players in the right direction, more so than 10, 15 years ago. So
nutrition.
If you're good, they'll find you.
Yeah, conditioning, everything. Such a simple game to start, Chris. A ball, a rim, a court, usually concrete, backyard. And then the next thing you throw some more players on there, and next thing you know, you might be playing at the All-Canadian Games. Scrow. Still silenced in this game. Morgan wants to bring it back out. Veljovic was calling for it. She's watched by Tumba.
Shot clock at 5.
Yeah, here it goes. Now trying to, not going to get this away. Not in time. And tough one there for Sarah Hurley. Kind of dribbled herself. She's out of position.
Dancing around on stage like Beyonce.
Yeah, Yes. Her brother TJ is to Vermont, Catamount. You ever been to a game there?
I have not, no, but obviously watched quite a bit. Trey Bell Haynes, Steph Smith, great Canadian lineage.
Well, that's one of the things about Madness that we all love too, is we watch and you see the fanfare, and frankly, we do it in Canada, but they do it down there, and even at the high school level, it's the bands. I love DJs, but having a marching band inside, here's a 3-ball. Good play by Gibb, and I thought I'd get the Kawhi Leonard bounce there. Tumba underneath is going to go to the line and shoot. She's fouled.
Davine Tumba, one of Royal Crown's finest out of Longueuil, Quebec. They mentioned the bands. I got to cover the NCAA tournament back in 2017, and my seat on press row was right next to the Notre Dame band, and that was a lot of fun.
How were your ears going home?
Oh, yeah, a little sore.
Yeah.
Also, funny story from that game. When a player dives for the ball inbound and takes out, Jalen Brunson took me out, my computer, my coffee, everything.
Well,
Never said sorry or anything, Rod.
So. Didn't even autograph your cup.
Nothing.
That's all right. Oh, Valjevic, strong move. Good D from Tumba. Chris McKee, Rod Black with you here. Entire crew streaming you live at the All-Canadian Games. Delaney, she's on fire right now. Delaney Gibb with the 3-ball.
Well, she's playing motivated hoops right now here in the second quarter. 60-35, all team red opening half.
Scrow, floater, no, and off. Gibb again. Nope. Has a little chuckle. It goes into the front row here.
I think that's so important. Play with a smile on your face. Like, yeah, you can be a competitor, but if you're not having fun out there, no point in being here. Jasmine Bosco will inbound with Avery Sussex guarding her.
There's Valjevic. The toss in. Bosco launches. No. That's the danger, too, when you're down this far, you need some 3-balls, and if you're not hitting them all game. Oh, great ball movement here underneath and up and going to the line will be Rebecca Milon again.
Great passes there in the lead up to that. I don't think she needed the dribble. If she had to just caught and put it right up, it might have been an and one, but alas, she'll shoot a couple free throws.
Team Black will have to get something going here in the second half. We said it was a single-digit deficit. That was their goal right now. They'd like to get back into the teens now.
Milon, part of Capital Courts in Ottawa, averaged 6.1 points per game. Shout out to Merrick Palmer, runs that wonderful program out of our nation's capital.
Olivia Leung. Pass was a little stray. Nia Dang again. She'll run the floor, but has it stolen right back. Back come Team Black, needing buckets here. Late going. Nice block. Good defense from Milon this time at both ends of the floor. Patricia Augustin was stopped.
Coming up, last minute of the half. About $1:07 left. Milon looking for space.
Here is Nia Dang again, and again another foul here. So everything that Team Black is trying to do here, just not seeming to work. But we still have another half to play. Try to turn the beat around here. 15 minutes at halftime. We'll have the shot from the spot. We'll talk about this first half, which was dominated by Team Red. Nia Dang as well, who wasn't supposed to play. And not only did she play, she's playing. She is playing.
Well, she's been outstanding for Fort Erie over the past couple seasons. So no surprise that she can just flip that switch and get it revved up pretty quick coming off injury.
Bosco. Sawyer on her. Jazz to the basket, too strong. But there is some cleanup underneath. And they get the bucket, and Jazz will get back on her feet after
Ifeanyi for Team Black.
Ifeanyi of Ed School. What a Liberty College. Oh, another big three. Tanya Steinauer. Pop's gonna love that. That's a touchdown toss.
We talked about her dad, Orlando, being a great athlete. Her mom, Gina, might be the best athlete in the family. Western Washington University Athlete of the Decade.
Final 10 seconds here, Team Red. This might be the one time they don't score on a trip. Team Black will have to launch this. Got to throw it up. Too late.
Ooh.
Almost went, though. Well, there you are, 67-37. It did not look like that, especially with Team Black coming back late in the first quarter.
Yeah, 67-37. At this rate, I don't know how much hoops we're going to be talking in the fourth quarter. So hopefully we can make some halftime adjustments here and make this a little bit more
pictures
competitive.
from your vacation. But there's always great stories to talk about these young ladies, especially with what they're doing, where they're going, and there still is an opportunity. One thing you don't want to have happen to you at one of these showcases or all-star games is get it handed to you. And down 30 at the half, Team Black looks a little defeated right now.
Yeah, you don't want bragging rights, for the next 10, 20 years of your life being like, hey, remember what I did to you in All-Canadian game? These young ladies know each other very well, competing Team Ontario, Team Canada, and then against each other in leagues and AAU. So, yeah, bragging rights really important amongst these
I have a feeling, too, Stella Scrow was largely silent in that first half. She's a shooter. She's a gunner. And you got a feeling that something's going to start hitting. Remember, too, for a lot of these players, they just got here on Thursday, and they haven't shot on these rims or these backgrounds, and I know that might sound like an excuse. Certainly for Team Red, it was going in on that end. But we'll see how that goes, especially in the second half for Team Black and Team Red at the All-Canadian Games. We're going to get set up here for the shot from the spot in the Flair halftime show coming up. Don't forget, later today, the boys on the floor, 5 o'clock Eastern. Catch up with us on the stream. And if you're in the area, you also come on down. Don't know if you can get a ticket tonight. It's going to be jammed. And so, from here at Athlete Institute, Orangeville, it's the halftime show brought to you by Flair Airlines. Beautiful day, beautiful Easter weekend here in Orangeville, just northwest of Toronto. Rod Black, Chris McKee with you. As now we get to call the shot from the spot. And I've seen this happen a few times. I did the shot from the spot, by the way, and I won in golf.
Okay.
Not in this. I don't
How
think
far was it in golf?
It wasn't that long. 116 yards. But I got it up. Okay. The shot from the dot.
So we have our two contestants here. We have we got Quentin
from Vaughan. Looks like he can ball. I have a feeling these tickets could go to him.
Well, he was involved in the slam dunk competition last night. He was helping one of the guys. He had the ball on his head while he tried to dunk over him. I think it was Sean Blake. So he's connected somehow. So he's a bit of a ringer here, Quentin.
I like this. One shot to fly.
They're giving out free airline tickets. I'm taking the headset off. I'm getting out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see it try. That'd be good.
I had once here. We did one during one of the Orangeville games. I hit rim, didn't take it, but at least I didn't humiliate myself. So that was my only goal.
I can tell you, I've seen pros that they absolutely freeze in this moment. It's not. When you got a chance to win something, money, tickets, a little bit different than even a score on a game.
Well, I seen on Instagram a couple weeks ago, some kid about 10, 11 years old won 10 grand hitting it from, and he had to do, the free throw, the 3-point, and the half-court shot, hit them all. And the kid was about, 11 years old, maybe.
Nice. Here it is. Oh! Only has to hit one. I think he's going to hit it. He did! Oh, man. I wonder where he's going to go.
The best part is he doesn't even look impressed.
No, he could go to Cancun, he could go to Vegas, he could go to Winnipeg, he could go wherever the heck he wants. And, dude, I go to Punta Cana. I flew Flair to Punta Cana. I like that. Oh, I think she's going to do it, too.
She's got 3 tries at it.
The only thing is you got to leave right now. No, I'm kidding. Here it is. Oh! Oh, boy. Look at that. Yes, ringers.
Thank God I didn't go out there because I would look foolish.
Now, do they have to travel together? Do they even know each other? I'm not sure. But thank you to Flair Airlines, the shot from the dot, and we have 2 winners.
And keep in mind, they didn't even get to the third ball. They both did it on the second one.
Yes. Oh. This is the individual competition now, I assume. Oh! I think so. Oh, nice try. Nice job, Quentin. DR, I told you, yeah, Punta Cana, man, go there. Anywhere. Congratulations, you're going to fly thanks to Flair Airlines. Here in the Flair Airlines halftime show and the shot from the dot at the Athlete Institute in Orangeville, Ontario. I like that.
Unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe that's the best half-court shots, I've ever seen. Normally, once in a blue moon, maybe 1 in 10, 20, you'll see someone half decent. The rest, they almost don't want you to win because they don't really want to give away the prizes sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that was refreshing.
Thanks. I see Messiah Jury in the corner signing Quentin here. I mean,
hey, they could probably use it
right
right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah, that was fun, and the girls are coming back on the floor, getting ready for this second half. What do you expect to see in the second half? More Toby Fournier, more Delaney Gibb, Rebecca Milan, who has been the spark. Actually, there have been so many players for Team Red. Davine Tumba, Nyadeng's played so well. Everybody's contributed.
If you're Team Red, as you were, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They had good communication, moving the ball really well. Ladies running the floor, getting back on defense. Team Black, at this point, throw everything in the kitchen sink at them. I think if you got an open look, take it. Don't think too hard about it. If you got a shot, put it up. And, let's see, throw everything in the wall and see what sticks.
Okay, so we got a little time here. Why don't I'm going to throw some stuff at you because you're the high school basketball expert in this area about some of the stuff that you've seen this season in particular and how this season ranks to others. One thing that we don't really touch on, and it's affected all of these players in this age group, is that 2 years ago, a lot of schools were shut down because of COVID. And a lot of recruitment was lost, and so a lot of players had to take that victory lap or gap year.
Yeah, it certainly did affect recruiting because American coaches weren't coming up here. In the lead up to that, going into 2017, 18, 19, so many kids. I'm seeing it right now, both on the men's side and the women's side. The high-end recruits, they're going to get there. I mean, we're seeing here, Toby's going to Duke, Jasmine's going to Villanova, and a bunch of others. It's more the mid-level kids, the kids that would be mid-major players, that they're losing opportunities, and maybe they're having to go to Canadian universities, which is certainly benefiting U Sports, as Rod, as you still call it CIS.
Well, I know it's U Sports. Yeah. It's just never grown on me because I grew up and, that was my goal when I was younger. I'm showing my age, is to play CIAU at the time, CIS Sports. And you grow up as a young baller and you follow your heroes because a lot of basketball games when I was growing up, they weren't broadcast. They weren't on. And the game of the week was usually your local university, and that was the Manitoba Bisons. So I started following these guys named Martin Riley, Daryl Rumsey, and that's who are the guys you want it to be. And that's why I think this game's important, that young girls can look up and see, hey, that's Toby Fournier. I want to be that player. And it's not necessarily always the end game for a player to play NCAA basketball. The end game can be to play in Canada. I'd like to see, we have great teams in Canada. Broadcasting the CEBL, I have seen how players like David Muinkat played at St. Francis Xavier, became a great player at St. FX. Thomas Kennedy, great player in U Sports, but also in the CEBL, became all-stars and playing with NBA players. I think the more you play with good players, the better players, no matter where that is, and the Canadian universities are getting better. I think it just benefits everybody.
But I think you're seeing now a lot of Canadian guys go down there for a year or two, and they don't really enjoy the experience. And then coming home, we've seen it this past year with Jacoby Neef.
Yep.
I mean, Jacoby won the slam dunk competition here at the All-Canadian Games a couple of years ago. Started out 2 years at Wake Forest, 2 years at Wisconsin. This is a guy that could have transferred to any number of American universities. He came home to play at TMU for Dave Diavero, you know, the former, what we would call Ryerson. And so, I mean, there's guys, men and women, are coming home.
And that's the thing, too. You just get a chance to play, keep playing. I'm going to let you read the stat sheet because you're good at that. My eyes are a little...
Team red.
Yeah, Team red. There's a lot of twos beside Toby Fournier.
Looks like she's got 12.
I quite like getting a chance. I've been so lucky and blessed to do it at the highest level at World Championships and NBA, where you have every stat at your fingertip. I like the fact that we have to kind of work at this, and we have to find the stats. We have to get the numbers.
Well, Toby with 12, Taya Steinauer with 2 threes, so she's got 6. Delaney Gibb with 5, and then aside from that, Davine Toomba with 4 with a couple buckets as well.
Team Black.
Switch to Team Black. I'll have a scroll down on that. So not a lot of highlights on Team Black right now. Jasmine Bosco with 4. Patricia Augustin with 4, and then aside from that, just a bunch of ladies with 2. So Team Black ladies, let's get it going. Let's rev it up here for the second half.
Yeah, there will be a presentation coming up. See Jesse Tipping down there.
Well, before we jump, Rod, you asked me about, some of the things I've seen change. When you want to talk about Crestwood Prep, I mean, I've been doing play-by-play for 7 years now, both on the men's and women's in the OSBA. This version of Crestwood Prep is probably the best women's high school team I've ever seen. They're so good, so loaded, so impressive, so it's getting better and better every year.
Speaking of Crestwood Prep, I think somebody's going to be honored from Crestwood Prep right now. Surprise, surprise. Not. Toby Fournier is certainly deserving.
Is that 3 years in a row now?
I love that trophy, too. You get a rim and a net.
Yeah, that one's a keeper.
Yeah.
So we did have a bit of surprise during the OSBA Championships. Her teammate, Agat McKeer, won MVP. So for the first time in a while, Toby didn't come away with some hardware. Well, she did win the championship, so I don't think she was too bothered.
Toby could have another trophy later in the day. Maybe as the MVP of this game, we have another half to come, a 30-point lead. One of the things we don't talk about, too, even though it's a showcase, kind of an exhibition, is you also want to maintain your health. Even though your season really is over, you're looking forward to going to Duke or wherever you're going next year, you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. But also, keep in mind, these ladies also have a big AAU season coming up. And for a lot of them, that's more important than even their high school seasons. And so, yeah, that's going to start over the next couple of weeks. So keep it fresh. Let's get out of here with a smile on our faces and everyone's health intact.
Take that trophy and go throw it on your garage.
Well, there's Toby's mom right there, an ace.
Yeah.
Some notorious B.I.G. bumping in the background. You a Biggie guy, Rod?
Hi, everybody.
I was so lucky
with your player of the year. Not only player of the year, we got the dunk-off champion, Toby Fournier, hanging out with us. How you feeling with all these titles?
I feel amazing, honestly, just being at being at the Nike All-Canadian Games, just being able to play with all these girls, it's an amazing feeling for sure.
We love it. I just wanted to know, what advice would you give players preparing for an all-star game like this?
I would say to just let the nerves go, relax, have fun with your friends, and just compete, because this is your only opportunity to compete with girls from all over in different provinces and stuff, and just have fun and don't take it too serious.
Love that. And we also heard you've committed somewhere. Can you please share your college plans with the people that don't know?
I'm going to Duke next year.
Duke, okay. And aside from yourself, who has the best shot at MVP for today's game? What are you thinking?
I'm going to have to go with my girl Jasmine Bosco, I'm not going to lie. She always impresses me, and whatever she does. So I'm going to give it to her.
All right, give it up one more time for Toby Fournier. This is your girl, Player of the Year. Thank you so much, Toby.
And he was, I'm sure his team probably wore purple as well, but yeah, he was, rest his soul, boy.
You talk about
a great artists that we've lost. Prince is one of them, and anthem, like his music, like Biggie, like so many others, Drake now, music, anthems in the sports world, in particular basketball.
Best Super Bowl halftime show I ever saw was Prince. I think in 2007 or 8, somewhere around there.
That was a good one. I like that one.
He did Purple Rain, and then this beautiful white mist of rain came down.
I like that one.
Unforgettable.
I like the one a couple of years ago, I think it was, when they had the ode, the homage to all the great hip hoppers and rappers and
Dr. Dre,
and Eminem making that was fantastic. All right,
Dog, all of them.
Okay, now we can stop talking about music. We good. Fine. we spent a whole time talking at halftime.
We might need to in the fourth quarter.
We'll see. We might. We'll see. Here's Delaney Gibb now. Nia Dang, Toby Fournier with her new trophy she just received, misses the hook. Bosco the other way. Team Black, let's see what kind of spark they have here. Maybe they're going to take it to the rack a little more. It's going to be tough with Fournier underneath. A little dish inside, and that is knocked away.
Well, Iffy Nwobi couldn't get a handle on it. Team Red Bull back the other way. You mentioned Nwobi headed down to Liberty University in Virginia. He's part of the all-grind session team, which is one of the big prep leagues in the U.S.
Fournier, good defense that time from Sarah Hurley. And out of bounds, and it will be Team Black. It's Black versus Red, if you're just joining us on the stream. The All-Canadian Games, this is the high school girls game. Best on best. And a lot of these players committed next year to university and college scholarships, Canada, United States. Patricia Augustin scoops and scores. First bucket of the second half, and they need more of that, Team Black.
A bit more like it from Patricia Augustine, first team OSBA All-Star, averaged just under 14 points a game this season.
Fighting to the rim, Devine Tumba. Oh, Lady Gibb, another steal here. Wants to give it to Fournier, stolen right back. Fournier posting up here. Look for the spin move, and there it is. Left hand, sweet off the glass. Maintains the 30-point advantage.
I had a laugh there. That was her teammate, Olivia Leung, that she went up, and Olivia had a smile on her face going, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here.
Augustin hit a three-pointer early in the game. And they need that and more. Bosco nails it.
A bit more like it from Bosco mentioned, led the OSBA, which is the top prep league in the country in scoring, and so Jasmine's starting to rev up.
Fournier again, kicks it back out. Nidang puts it on the floor. Tumba spinning underneath, puts it up and rims it. Bosco on the push. Olivia Leung waits, and nice feed, and not enough there. Wanted a foul, but she doesn't get it. Chantel Stewart, Delaney Gibb, high arching three. Oh,
well, that ball stayed in the air forever. That was beautiful.
Delaney Gibb, telling you, giving Toby Fournier a run for the scoring title in this game. Maybe the MVP, might be co-MVPs the way it's going. She is putting on a show here. The young player from Raymond, Alberta.
She was in the mix last night in the three-point competition, but couldn't outlast Stella Skro.
See Stella in this second half. They're going to need a lot of buckets. Nice give and go here. Backdoor play to Bosco.
A bit more like it from Bosco. You can see she's got a little motivation to get out here and correct that first half.
Yep, just off that time. 3 minutes gone here, third quarter in Orangeville, Ontario. Wherever you're watching, streaming live here out of the Athlete Institute. Rod Black, Chris McKee. There's the player of the year, Toby Fournier. Baseline move here. Nia Dang is fouled. Looks like she'll shoot.
Patricia Augustin with the foul. It's a good foul, though. You don't want to allow a wide open lane, even in an all-star game.
Number 5.
Tana Becker's coming in.
Well, Nia Dang, an OSBA all-star once again. The Fort Erie side, on the men's side as well.
Well, they got a lot of Fort Erie players.
Yeah, lost in the championship.
Kind of goes back and forth for some seasons, you know, depending on recruitment, whatever it might be, but you've seen it. Orangeville Prep for a long time. I remember the days when Eastern Commerce, you know, was the powerhouse, the more urban.
Jamal McClure.
We'll hear from Jamal in the boys' game. Makes a little cameo.
You know, a lot of people talk about the Vince Carter effect. I talk about the Jamal McClure effect because before Jamal, you know, a lot of people from Canada went to Niagara and Canisius.
Yep.
Jamal was set the precedent by going to Kentucky. Speaking of Kentucky,
it's
Tana Becker.
Tana Becker, the future Wildcat. Well, I think there are a lot of forces, and you're right. Jamal was certainly one of those pioneers for big men. I still believe, and Vince Carter did help change. Oh, look at Toby Fournier. What you poise underneath. Doesn't panic. Another basket. But one thing that Vince did is brought the hype and brought recognition to the game in Toronto and Canada. I still maintain that Steve Nash made young Canadian ball players believe, and I do believe that's happening in the women's ranks. Kia Nurse doing that. All the great women who have done this. Look at this feed. What a swing pass. Oh, big block by Becker. Back the other way.
That was nasty.
Little momentum here for Team Black. No, they can't convert. Rebound underneath. Bosco on the floor. No whistle. And the floater is up and not in from Olivia Leung.
Well, if it wasn't for bad luck, Team Black would have no luck at all.
Yes, you are so right. Converted nicely, Rebecca Mion.
77-44.
Wow.
Team Red in cruise control.
Cyan Jean will go to the line.
Cyan has been a part of Team Canada. Defensive player in the year in the OSBA last year. Average 9.1 points per game for Capital Courts. Capital Courts, of course, the program where Marissa Russell came out.
Yes. Cyan Jean will go to the line when we come back to the Athlete Institute in Orangeville. The 2024 All-Canadian Games will continue. We'll be right back.
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Bonjour, je me nomme Divine Tumba et
I'm Rebecca Moulin. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, and I play at Capital Courts.
I'm Olivia Young, and you're watching the All-Canadian Games.
What a great week for so many of these young players, the girls and the boys. Again, the boys game coming up a little bit later. What are you looking forward most to seeing in that one? Beyond the fact, if you've never seen this kid before, there's talented players, but there's a world record holder in the game later. He is the tallest teenager in the world out of Terrebonne, Quebec, 7 feet 7 inches. He is an absolute giant. You think about Zach Eady, who's, I think, 7'4".
He makes Zach look like a little kid.
And I remember Sim Boular was another one for Canadian hoops, but you know, you think about Victor Wembanyama. You know, Wembanyama comes up to Olivier Rioux, and, you know, Olivier calls him Shorty. You know, I mean, that's, you know, but his game is developing. He's going to Florida. And the big man, when they're that big, I know it's a shooter's game now, playmaker's game. Big men are still obviously paramount.
Yeah, he's going to go to Florida, play for Todd Golden, where we just saw former All-Canadian Tyrese Samuel have a big-time season for the Gators. And so good Canadian lineage down in Gainesville these days.
Nice play. Finally, something falls, and that's Kamora Morgan on the sweet dish underneath.
Well, Kamara from the Schwa, just east of Toronto. I went to Durham College, so I can call it the Schwa.
Yeah, you can call it the Schwa. Why not? Delaney Gibbs staying in this game as they go to the bench a little bit. And strong to the basket underneath was Eva Roost. It will still stay with Team Red.
Bissett ducking and diving, looking for room.
Quebec City, another three, and make it a chance for 4. A chance for 4 for Avery Sussex.
That was lovely, high arcing three. So I want to give a shout out.
We could say that one was from Coquitlam.
Speaking of Maddie was here. I want to give a shout out to our high school coach, Paul Langford. This guy's been coaching high school hoops for 50 years out in BC. And those are the kind of people I think we need to tip our cap to in a game like this, because without men and women like that, we don't have games like this.
No, and the lifelong coach, we talk about the players, it's the coaches too. There's Stella Scrow, and maybe this will get her ignited. Again, she usually scores from beyond the arc. That looks like it's going the other way, Team Black. So see if Stella Scrow can cut into this very, very large lead. But you're right, coaches, volunteers, the sports administrators, that's what makes it tick when you get to levels like this. You need them, and if you can stay in the game, even after you're finished playing, continue to coach and teach. Sussex again. Maybe another? Oh, she did! Oh, Avery Sussex.
All net, no rim at all. Lovely.
Just filling up the well. Wow.
She's got as clean a stroke as I've seen in the country right now. It's a thing of beauty.
And that's the thing, too. 3-point shooting. You know, talk about volume threes. I'm a big believer. I have been, and I preach to those that aren't sabermetricians, but I'm a big believer in take your twos if you don't make your threes, you know. But at the same time, it's a timeout on the floor. 83-50 is the score. We'll be right back. We are right back. Timeout on the floor. But yeah, so volume threes and having 3-point shooters, and that's the beauty too. You know, got a little guy like Steve Nash, Caitlin Clark, players like that who can shoot the basketball. Years ago when I was growing up, I'm not a small guy, but it was like you had to be 6'6", 6'7" to play the game. You don't have to be that anymore. The ball doesn't look back at you. Steph Curry. Ball doesn't look back and say, hey, you're vertically challenged.
Well, Steph Curry, hey, one of Etobicoke, Ontario's finest, Steph Curry.
Yeah, yes.
We can claim him. We're allowed to claim him.
I remember the days doing games, and Leo and I would be sidelined, and there would be Leo's son, Andy, and who ended up going to Syracuse.
His brother Sam played here as
Sam
well.
did. And Steph Curry and Seth on the floor before games, and the security guards would come up to us and say, get those kids off the floor. I said, you get those kids off the floor. I mean, look at two of them became NBA players. Well, 3 of them became NBA players. Andy played with the Knicks, drafted by the Knicks, and Steph, well, you know what he's done. One of the greatest shooter of all time, for sure.
Stella
nice underneath on the miss. Stella Scrow still hasn't hit a 3 yet. Oh, what a nice pass. Almost threaded it all the way. Valjevic now trying to turn. A little press here with a huge lead.
Team Red just being cruel right now.
Yes,
pressing.
they are putting the sneakers on the throats here. There's a steal. Taya Steinauer is back for defense. Had it stripped there, and it will stay with Team Black.
Well, Cyan Johns came to play here. She got that bucket down one end and then back on defense to get the steal. Running the floor both ways.
5 minutes to go, third quarter. Can Team Black make a miraculous comeback at the All-Canadian Games? We shall find out. Scrow, shovel pass, corner, no. Easy rebound here, and Avery Sussex has really led the charge, filling in when she does for Delaney Gibb.
Where's Avery Sussex? Back-to-back threes. Let's see if she'll have a heat check. Put it up, Avery. You've earned it.
Yeah, well, there's a fall away for 2, but the rebound underneath and almost knifing her way through. Oh, got a little venom now. Here's Morgan, strong to the basket, and it goes.
Kamara Morgan averaged 11.7 points per game. She was part of the All-Canadian Next One's game last year, so no stranger to All-Canadian week.
That's the thing, too, is Izzy Foust drives to the basket. Avery, can she? No. For the hat trick, not this time. Sometimes don't mention that enough, too, that this week is just not about these All-Canadian games. The All-Canadian games feature a few up-and-comers as well.
Yeah, all week long, I mentioned the Futures game Wednesday, the grade 9 and 10s, the next ones, grade 11s mostly, and then a couple grade 11s in this, but mostly the graduating seniors aside for 1 or 2 special players. Morgan inbounds.
There we go.
That's Veljovic for 3. Oh, no, they're calling a 3.
Taya, no.
Sarah Hurley back the other way for Team Black.
Here's Veljovic again. Veljovic spinning, nice move here. It goes up and it doesn't go in. Rebound underneath, no. There's a seal down there for Team Black, and finally, it goes. Cyan Sean.
Well, if at first you don't succeed,
try again. Here is Izzy Foust kicking it back out. And a timeout on the floor, 83-59. Team Red leads Team Black.
Things don't get easier. Toby Fournier coming back in for Team Red.
No timeout there, in fact, so they'll just keep playing on. There's a 3 ball. Ripped down, brought back here by Team Black. Morgan again. Little Euro step. That's her move. Get to that lane, take it to the rack.
Kamara Morgan spent a year down in the U.S. playing at National Christian Academy and then came back home to Ontario to play this year.
Toomba's out there. That was a miss. Can Skro get it going now? Working on Foust. Stella Skro.
Good job of Hurley to tiptoe that line there.
Really good job. Veljovic battles underneath. Elbows thrown, and we have a jump, it looks like. Goes for Team Black. Sub coming in.
Veljovic looked a little gassed. She could do with a little breather. Patricia Augustin back in for her.
Coast to coast to coast. Players from all over. A lot of representation from Ontario. But they're really, when they talk about hotbeds of basketball in Canada, boys and girls, it's right across the country. They can come from all over. Remember Carl English?
Of course. It was
St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. He played at Hawaii, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
There we go.
Drafted into the NBA. There's Toby again. Tireless, relentless. Skro swings, 3, rimmed. Stays with Team Black underneath.
You know, I wonder in the history of college basketball, has anyone traveled farther from home to commit from Newfoundland all the way to Hawaii?
Oh, probably some of the African players.
Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, probably. Maybe not though. Hawaii's a lot, but they might go over. I'm trying to do my flight path here. They might go over the pole, but you might be right.
Yeah,
you might be right. Australia's a long way to go, and they got a lot of Aussie recruits. Australia, very much like Canada through the years.
St. Mary's University out in California, a hotbed for the Aussies under Randy Bennett.
Devine Toomba, easy lay-in for her. And Team Red just keeps rolling here.
85-61. Team Black, someone's got to start putting up some shots here. Don't think too hard about it. You get the look, take it, ladies.
Stella doesn't want to go home silent from beyond the arc. Last night she hit a bucket full. Morgan, no. Ripped down again by Taya Steinauer.
Chantel Stewart back out there.
Yep.
The Crestwood's
Everybody
finest.
getting a chance here. I think that's the thing with these coaches, just giving everybody some equal PT. Oh, Fournier again. Leftovers on the Foose shot. Last minute here, third quarter.
Well, I think she's getting greedy here. She wants MVP after MVP, and she's certainly up for it again tonight. Or this afternoon, excuse me.
Well, when you win, you win. It's like a game show for Toby. Toby Fournier. She'd still like to get that slam in this game, though.
Yeah, if you're just showing us, she missed one in the first half.
Yeah.
So I think that's got to be on her,
you got to
her
think
radar.
on a breakaway for sure. Would have to be, might be something when if Delaney Gibbs out with her. Gibbs so good at stealing that ball, little sort of push steal ahead. Steinauer looks at it. Spinning now, Taya. Good rebound this time. Final 5 seconds of the third quarter. Stella is going to have to let it fly. She does. And no, that kind of day for Stella Scrow so far. That kind of day for Team Black. 61 points on the board, 89 points, getting close to 100 for Team Red.
Yeah, things getting ugly here, Rod, as we head towards the fourth quarter. So, you know, at this point, I'd love to see one of the ladies get a little greedier. You know, just like, hey, don't worry about spreading the ball around. Just going, I want to take my shot.
Very unselfish. Yeah, very unselfish.
We had a guy in the next one's game, Zane McFarland. We figured out 2 minutes in the game, he's not passing at all. He ended up getting the MVP for his team. So, hey, sometimes being greedy pays off.
Can I tell you that the MVPs in most All-Star games are the most selfish?
Exactly, yeah.
Not saying Toby is, because she's had a great game. She's a very unselfish player. But when you're good, you're good.
No doubt. Yeah.
And you know something? Stardom is just following this young lady around. And we're going to see how her game translates at the next level, at NCAA. I mean, there is a big leap from high school basketball, high school sports, to getting to Division I.
You know, everything starts to change. NIL, we talked about Leah Edwards earlier. I know she's got an NIL deal with Adidas. All that stuff's going to come into the mix. Toby's got 55,000 Instagram followers. But, you know, I chatted with her about fame. Do you think it might affect you?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, obviously, you know, she's got a mother who grew up kind of, you know, in the acting business. So I think she's got the right sort of guidance that I don't think any of that's going to affect her in any way.
There's so much talk about NILs, and Nick Saban had, I think, something really profound to say. I like NILs. I like what it has done because college players, athletes, student athletes is what they are. Through the years, you know, of course, get their scholarships, get all of this, and haven't been able to capitalize on the other opportunities, marketing. I believe in that. I really, truly do. I do believe, though, in spreading it around because I don't think it helps a team when one player gets too much and there's too much around that player. You see it in football happen a lot.
We just saw with Caleb Williams out at USC. You know, Caleb's making $12-13 million a year, living in a penthouse condo in LA, and you can see what happened with USC's season. A little, you know, uneven, shall we say.
Yeah, spread the faith around. I don't agree with Nick Saban's philosophy many times, but I certainly do in this part. And I think football really has to look at it, and so does basketball, for sure. And by the way, you know, there's Toby again, off balance. A lot of.
He's got 26 already, by the way.
Can we call it MVP already? Well, maybe not yet. Can't guarantee it yet. But there are so many players that are making good money as college athletes now, and it does make you wonder about the team aspect. But then there's so many athletes in school, so many different sports. You know, the players from the rugby team, they're not getting any NILs. Nothing against them, but very few are.
Now, keep in mind, this is just the high end, though, you know?
Yeah.
This is the Kentuckys, the Alabamas. You know, I chatted with Keyshawn Saunders last year when he was at Toledo, and I asked him, are any of your guys getting NIL? He goes, no, that's for the big dogs. That's for the Blue Bloods, the Yukons, and Arizonas.
But the Blue Bloods, in my mind, are also going to get paid off when they get to the pro ranks. So I don't want them I don't think any university or college student athlete should be on poverty row by any stretch. But I don't think they also should be driving Escalades.
Well, we just seen, was it Carson Beck, the Georgia quarterback? He was just gifted a brand new $300,000 Lamborghini.
Yeah, you got to careful who you dance with. 10.5 to go here, fourth quarter. Spin moves, beautiful. Ooh, almost up and in.
Olivia Leong missed on that one. Would have been pretty.
Nyadeng strong to the basket, little Euro, and off the rim, doesn't get it. Will she get the rebound? No, she's going to kick it back out. Oh, nice play there. Again, the basket just seeming to defy some of these players today. Bosco lost it, gets it back, and here we go. Team Black haven't had a basket in a while. This time, yes they do. Delaney Gibb got dusted at midcourt. She's okay. Limps back down the floor.
You don't see too many bodies flying around in All-Star games. Delaney Gibb,
left some
she doesn't care.
Left some skin here in Orangeville. Nyadeng from the stripe and knifes her way through. Oh, what a play, attacking the rim. Nyadeng, Yesh. Oh, nice play. Finding another basket underneath. That is Olivia Leong.
So the tempo of the game picking up, things getting a little bit more wide open, less defense.
Chantel Stewart looking for Toby Fournier on the back end of a pick and roll, and Nyadeng. Fournier so strong under the problem, I think, for Team Black is they're outsized big time. Nyadeng in the game, Tumba in the game, and Fournier. Those are three big bodies. Very difficult to get the basketball.
I mean, you got Toby and Nyadeng, both go about 6'3" apiece. You don't see anyone with that kind of size on Team Black right now.
Delaney Gibb again going to BYU, Brigham Young University in Utah. So excited when I chatted with her the other day about that opportunity. A lot of Canadian athletes have been able to make their way in many programs down in BYU. And another three-pointer. Sarah Hurley knocking it down. Nyadeng again, baseline this time, and she's met mid-air by Ife Nwabi.
So the chipping away, it's now down to 20. It was at 30, so it might not look like it, but Team Black is making some progress.
Still a lot of time here. Get it down to 10. I think if you can get it to single digits, that would be like a victory to me. You never know. Never. By the way, there were a number of opportunities Team Black missed in transition today.
Yeah, it's not necessarily Team Red's been better. It's Team Black's not getting their shots.
Three ball from Taya Steinauer. And Team Black taking over at the All-Canadian Games here in Orangeville. Athlete Institute. Thank all the sponsors and the volunteers and everybody keeping this game going. The All-Canadian Games now. And this game has become such a launching pad for so many players through the years. Pathways to colleges, universities, pros. It has become a rite of passage in a Canadian spring for a young baller to make their way through the All-Canadian Games. Media timeout on the floor. 20-point. You calling it? You calling a comeback here, Chris?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm that optimistic just yet. You know, I'm a glass half empty kind of guy.
Canadian Games are supported by Flair Airlines, making affordable air travel possible for all in Canada, to Canada, from Canada.
Delaney Gibb, Raymond Alberta. Stella Stewart from Ontario. I'm Zephyrus, and you're watching the All-Canadian.
You never know, though. I have seen crazier things happen. Particularly, you know where you see it a lot? And I think it's another great boon for Canadian basketball is the CEBL, the Elite Basketball League, especially where it's played early summer, just 20 games. So many players get a chance to play with pros. Rules are great. I love the target score rule.
See, I'm on the other side of that coin, Rod.
Oh, I love it. I love a walk-off, especially in a league like that in the summertime where it's not as consequential. I totally believe during a regular season you should hit free throws, you know, all of that. But I will tell you, there's nothing like a walk-off every single game. And I saw Ottawa come back on Scarborough. I was there. I think they were down 28 into target score. All Scarborough had to do was score 9 points, and they couldn't. Anything is possible.
Something to check out over the summer. wherever the CEBL is.
Yep.
Go check out a game in person.
Yep.
The Toronto area out at the Pan Am Center in Scarborough.
Yep, Brampton, Honey Badgers, Niagara, they've got a great thing going there. Ottawa, Blackjacks, all across Canada. And you know what the next thing is? A women's league.
Yes.
We need a women's pro league in Canada.
A lot of whispers about the WNBA, possibly.
Should have happened long ago in my mind. And again, the inspiration for so many young players would have been heightened even more. So back to 22. Now a sense of urgency here.
You can see Team Black's picked up the tempo.
Swarm the rim. Bosco. And plays catch with Cyan Jean. Likes that scoop move. Not this time. Roost. Avery Sussex wanted to bounce that in. Off to Tanya Steinauer. Looks good from here, but doesn't go. Swatted away. Back to Sussex. A little more D here in the late going, too.
You know, we talk about pride. These ladies have pride. I can tell you, that the bragging rights we mentioned at half, and you can see Team Black with just over 7 minutes left trying to dig out of this hole.
On the floor, off her shoe is Augustine. Trisha Augustine. Taking Izzy to the hole there, and no. Nice feed. Steinauer waits now. Throws it on the deck. Back out, and a beautiful three-pointer from Izzy Fust. From Winnipeg, goes to Dakota Collegiate, a Lancer.
Headed to the University of
Regina. Again, great pathway, great program. Saskatchewan basketball, great rivalries out there.
She's going to play with her older sister Q, who's already at Regina.
Which is fantastic.
Which in basketball family, Mom Brooke played 5 years at the University of Winnipeg, and Dad played 5 years University of Manitoba.
Talk about great rivalries again. The cross down, get down, the Bisons and Westman out there. 6.5 to go in the All-Canadian game for the high school girls, best in the country. And full-scale line change, hockey change here. Everybody coming off the bench. Tana Becker boots one out.
Was your best Christine St. Clair impression?
Yes. Another area we talk about female sport, Title IX and what it's become. And a big deep three, Rebecca Milon again. Title IX so important.
Just raiding from every angle from Team Red.
Yeah,
if you want to shut down Toby, well, someone else will get a shot.
Morgan, no. But the opportunities for females that exist now in college and sport, just got to get it to the pro level. Steinauer again. Steps back, no.
You talk about that, Rod. We talk about Caitlin Clark. The TV ratings of her games are absolutely destroying NBA games and men's March Madness games. Unbelievable.
They can. She's good. You look at UConn, Iowa, anything that these stars are. That's what drives young kids. Is that star power, championship power, and role model power. And if you've got that, like you mentioned, Christine Sinclair, Canada needs a women's pro soccer league. Do you know there are only 2 countries really in the world that don't have women's pro soccer leagues? Canada and Haiti. How is that possible? Need a league.
Yeah.
We need that for the girls. We need that for the girls.
We got the Canadian Premier League on the men's side, and so let's get it going for the ladies.
And it's getting there. It's getting there more and more every day. It's a good time for these young girls to be playing. 101-78, they've broken the century mark. Not sure if the comeback is in the offing now, and a giveaway again. Izzy Fust.
I always joke every time it gets to 100. Remember the old Raptors days? You get a free slice of pizza.
I can use a slice right now.
Yeah.
I can use a slice right now. Just saying. We got a bit of a break between the boys' game coming up. Morgan, big three, no, underneath and up and in. And they get to 80, so they're 21 down. And it was Ife Nwobi with the cleanup underneath. We'll have the MVP presentation after the game.
There's a legendary diner around the corner called Angel's Diner. Highly recommended if you got an hour or two in between games.
Or 3?
Yeah.
21-point lead. Mara Morgan. A lot of the players who didn't start getting a chance to play now, and that's what it's about when a game gets like this. A little bit lopsided.
Team Black just ice cold from behind the arc. I think that's been their crutch.
Nice dish by Bissett. Love the playmaking from some of these players, and that's what gets the eye too. Your ability to score and shoot. If you're an unselfish player and you can dish the basketball, you can go places.
Well, Jasmine Bosco, certainly a prime example of that. So creative.
Milan has had a great day here today. Take that home with her. Great memories. I'm sure all of the players will. They've got great swag all week. They got suited up, gifted out, thanks to the great folks at Nike.
We got a young lady named Ayla Corrigal. She's grade 10 that plays up here. She is just an outstanding point guard facilitator. Watch out for that. And she was part of the Futures game earlier. It's a young lady you'll be seeing in this game in the next year or two. I got to show some love to my Orangeville folks.
Oh, yes, you should. Oh, nice up and in, Kamara Morgan. Well, you never know here. Need some stops here. Chantel Stewart, baseline, off the front iron. Stella Scro's got to hit a 3 at some point. Yeah. Morgan's been the best player from Team Black in the second half.
Absolutely. She's been possessed. Off the mark that time, though.
Back they come. Oh, no. Becker almost stole it from behind. Pickpocket there. Stewart flings one up. Bruce knocks it out of bounds. And we'll have a timeout here. 101-82, Team Red. Final 3 minutes ahead for the girls at the All-Canadian Games. We'll be right back.
The All-Canadian Games are powered by Orangeville Prep Basketball Summer Camp. Live the prep experience this summer with 4 weeks of day and overnight camps at the Athlete Institute campus.
Hey, it's the Junkyard Dog, Jerome Williams. You're watching the All-Canadian Games. It's the best high schoolers, boys, girls. Jamal Murray played at SGA. You got to check it out. These are the best in the business. It's all about the dog pound.
I love that man. JYD at the Tournament of Stars last week in Toronto. A bunch of NBA stars. Had a chance to, was the honorary commissioner. I was very honored. Didn't hand out any suspensions. The only suspension would have been me for missing curfew, but that would have been it. But they raised a ton of money for West Park Healthcare. And JYD, Jerome Williams, he does so much. One of my favorite Raptors of all time, not because of he was a dog on the floor. He was a player. He could grinder, but the stuff he does away from the floor for kids, youth basketball. He did a camp last week, Chris, with these kids. They all were like babies. They were like 4, 5, and 6. It was priceless. Shout out to Jerome Williams.
You know, he's one of the guys I remember growing up, because at first a lot of Americans were a little hesitant, and
That's
there's
nice.
Cyan Jean with a bucket, about coming to play for Toronto. JYD was one of the first that embraced it and embraced the people of Toronto and Canada.
Still does, still comes back, still keeps giving. Devine Toomba under 3 to play here. Nia Deng again, one of the players. If there was no Toby Fournier on the floor, it would have been a very difficult decision today for MVP on that Team Red.
Yeah, Nia Deng, you know, we talked about the injury, and I'm not seeing any signs of it, Raj. She looks fantastic.
Sussex has been good. Fournier, though, just next level. She'll go to the line, shoot 2. She's next level.
Well, you've seen as soon as she got the ball, three defenders in black jerseys all surrounded her, triple teamed, and gets herself to the line. Now, this is one area she's got to improve on her game. Just over a 50% free throw shooter. If there's one, chink in the armor for Toby, it's from the free throw line, but she is putting the work in it. Going to play for Kara Lawson. for the Blue Devils next year, the
what a
Carrot
coach.
era, as they call it.
What a coach. 2.5 to go here, winding down. I am very interested in watching a lot of these young players. One of the beauties of doing these games, especially in, when you've lived a life where you're doing a lot of pro games, I love doing these games more because these are the kids that you're eventually going to see where they get to and see how they developed and the mistakes they made, because that's what you're going to do, make mistakes on the way, and how you correct them and how you become the next level athlete.
That's one of the things I've seen. I called Lou Gansdor at senior year as a high school. I saw what he was like at a 17-year-old.
I called that first all-Canadian game he was in, and everybody was looking, who's Lou Gansdor? Who's this guy? Why is he in it? And he won MVP.
Yep,
Now he's in the NBA, and he's making millions of dollars, and he's one of the best teammates. And by the way, don't sleep on OKC.
Oh no, yeah, Shea Gilgeous, you name it. Hey, that's Team Canada Junior down there.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, one of those years, might be the best player on the planet right now. During that all-Canadian game, and I talk about the development, you hardly recognize Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Had a couple of fouls, he had to grow. He grew into his body, grew big. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, all those other names. But that's you got to get your foot in the door here. You got to get your foot in the door like these girls are doing today. Get your foot in. Get to this game. This is something that every young Canadian basketball player should aspire to. Get here.
I heard an interview with John Calipari a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about Shea when he first came there. He said he wasn't even that impressed with him at first, and then by the end of that first year, he knew what he would become.
Yeah, late bloomer. And that's why it's so cool to see these, call them kids. They're still teenagers, high schoolers. They have got all the other frailties of life to deal with and all the other stuff, deal with their parents and social media and hanging out with friends. And by the way, also, what's very important, schoolwork. Get that done.
So you talk about the kids. It's funny. You lose track of that sometimes, especially with the men, because these guys are 6'8", 6'9", and then you go talk to him and you realize, he's a kid.
Oh, Delaney putting on a show here, but Bosco, good D, smothered her.
Buck 28 to go. All Team Red today, right from the get-go.
Buck 28. 102-87. Now, I don't think a comeback to win is going to happen. But what about a comeback to try to get to even like 95? Wouldn't that be something? This could help.
Interesting.
This could help. They might.
Veljovic for three.
It's a 12-point game.
Well, this is as close as it's been all afternoon.
Yes. Basically from the tip. And it's been done by defense as well. Bosco's really intensified. And Fournier, though, trying to answer. She does, and does what Toby Fournier does all the time.
Just when Team Black got a little bit of hope, Toby Fournier.
30-plus points in this game. And no, Team Red swallows up the rebound again. 45 to go. Chance to add to some tallies here. Milovic back up to Augustine. Try to get something before you go home. Get a little something, another souvenir, another bucket here.
Mentioned Jasmine, my broadcast partner for the game the other day. I interviewed her, the first time I spoke to her back in December after a game, and she was the best interview I'd had in about 2 or 3 years. And that's when I said, you need to get up in the booth with me.
They will have MVPs for both teams. Nia Deng. Oh, nice move. Tell you again, Nia Deng Yesh would have been a candidate along with Delaney Gibb. Again, I think Toby Fournier is a slam dunk.
I think a lot of these girls would be glad to see the back of her, which because maybe someone else can win something over the next couple of years.
Come on, Toby, let somebody else win. That's it. Game over. 106-90 is the final for Team Red. 30-plus points for Toby Fournier, most likely an MVP. Who will it be for Team Black? We're going to step aside, come back for the trophy presentation awards in just a moment. We'll be right back.
The All-Canadian Games are supported by the Toronto Star. Truth we need for the world we want.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Ivory Latta, WNBA player, and right now you're watching the best high school girls in the All-Canadian game. Let's go!
Friend Ivory Latta, thank you so much for being part of the show today, and I hope you were watching today because I could see a few future Ivory Lattas in this game. As they line up here, they'll make the presentation. I think we know who's got it for Team Red. That's fait accompli. Team Black, I'm not sure. Could be a couple of players. Kamara Morgan, second half for sure.
Mix, yeah. Bosco had some good D.
Bosco probably from tip to buzzer might have been more dominant, but Team Black made it closer than it looked. Chris, here we go. Let's send it down courtside here for the presentations. Team Red, the victory here, 106-90 in the All-Canadian Games. There you go. Congratulations to Jazz. Good luck to her. Villanova Wildcat told me that he started talking about Kyle Lowry a little bit. I said, Kyle will be happy with that. And she said, yeah, one of the players she looked up to.
Well, these two young ladies headed to the Canadian Senior Women's Olympic training camp in a couple of weeks out in Victoria.
And that's huge, too, getting a chance, as she said, getting a chance to be around her hero, Kia Nurse, who she has worked out with Transway. Maybe someday get a chance to wear Canada colors at the Olympics. I think we're going to see this young lady someday at the Olympics wearing Team Canada colors. What a force, what a player. Toby Fournier, you've won it all here this week.
Her whole career, just the most decorated high school player in the history of Canada and just adding to that trophy case. They must have a separate room in the house just for her hardware.
The Tobinator. She dominates. Great person, great personality, fiery player underneath when she has to be. She scores the ball. You're going to hear a lot about her. And she's off to Tobacco Road. Play with the Duke Blue Devils. Both of these players will head to Team Canada's training camp this summer. Good
nice,
friends.
Yeah, I was going to say, nice moment for these two good friends. Good way to cap things off.
Nice to see them down the road. Possible teammates wearing a jersey that says what it says on front of their jersey right now, Canada. That's a goal. That's a huge goal.
It's going to be a special one. Paris Olympics,
Oh.
you know. You want to talk about
LA
prime time.
after that.
Yeah.
And again, Canada poised to make some noise. Men and women's ranks. Toby Fournier is coming over for an interview here with Jasmine. That was fun to watch, watching her play. She is, look at this this is a great picture.
Guy,
yeah. Multi-skilled player. You've got all the things in your toolbox. That's what she has. If you don't know her name and if you never heard of her before, get to know it. You're going to hear it a lot. So, a couple more pictures. Again, keep in mind, later today, 5 o'clock Eastern, high school boys take the floor. And they will fly. The All-Canadian boys game. Some pictures to be taken here. Great memories. Again, win or lose, no matter what you did, and if maybe you had a substandard game in your own mind, it's what we talked about before. How do I get better next time? Get better every day.
I think, when these young ladies look back, 5, 10, 20 years from now, they won't even remember how they played in the floor.
No.
They'll remember the whole experience of, staying up here, hanging around with their counterparts.
I hope they
and
all
just having a fun week.
I hope they all hang on to those jerseys, because those are special keepsakes. Put them up somewhere or sell them off at an auction somewhere for charity. But you only get a chance. Technically, they are all playing for their country today.
No doubt, yeah.
They are all Canadians. no matter what you do in life. For today, you are an All-Canadian.
They can never take that off the resume. That's in there, not in pencil, it's in ink. We're just hanging on momentarily. We're going to get Toby and Jasmine over for an interview with Michelle in just a moment. Recap their experience this afternoon.
I'd like to know what they're going to do tonight afterwards. It's a long week. You know, for the locals like they are, however, you know, not a long way to travel. Some players came in from Vancouver, from the East Coast even, province of Quebec. There's a lot of travel involved. And I could see they were a little jet lagged the other day on media day. Then you got to go back on the floor, practice, and you play one game. Play one game.
Tell you where you and I should head, to the Black Bull down on Queen. They're closing it after 200 years. I just saw yesterday.
What?
Yeah, trust me, I was devastated seeing that.
You're going to tell me about this now as we go down to Michelle.
What's up? I'm hanging out with your MVPs, Toby Fournier, and her prediction for today's MVP, Jasmine Basco. And we've got these two wonderful girls here. How you guys feeling today?
You know, I'm feeling good. Me and Toby were both going for the three-peat, so back-to-back-to-back MVPs, it always feels good.
Me and Jasmine, we like predicted this from the beginning, so we were like already planning it out. So in the interview, I already knew what my answer would be. So
awesome. And for the people that don't know, where are you guys from, and what school do you currently play at?
I'm from Milton, Ontario, and I go to King's Christian Collegiate.
I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I go to Crestwood Prep.
Awesome. And when did you guys actually start playing basketball? Because like you're dunking already, and I don't know how you learned how to do that, but we need to know. When did you start playing?
I started playing when I was 4.
I started playing a little later, when I was like about 12, 13. I used to play with my siblings, and then I kind of got into just like playing in a league. So
nice. And how has your experience been in the All-Canadian Games so far? Any takeaways?
It's been amazing. It's been so much fun. Lots of time to like joke around, but then also like obviously we had practice, so we're locking in. And we always play against these girls, so finally we get to play together. It's great.
Yeah, like I said before, just getting the experience. Like I played with a lot of these girls on like Team Canada and the OSBA, but also being able to just like be on the same team as other girls and then also get competitive with the girls I'm on Crestwood with is a great experience for sure.
Awesome. Give it up one more time for your MVPs, Jasmine Basco and Toby Fournier. Thank you, ladies. Thanks.
Oh, well, Toby and Jasmine, next time we'll see them. Again, the training camps, they got some other play this spring, but down the road, maybe at the Olympic Games. But next year, it's freshmen off to university.
Yeah, one of my favorite things over the past couple of years, getting to know these young men and women, and then come March Madness time, you know, I'm standing in my local sports bar and I look up at TV and go, I know her and I know him, and those are two young ladies. The two of us will be able to say in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it was special today watching that red team early on, and they may have let up a little bit. They had such a big lead, but again, even without Toby Fournier today, they had a team of MVPs out there.
Oh, I mean, one after another. You know, Nia Dangish, unbelievable. You know, talked about Delaney Gibb. I mean, on and on and on. We can go down the whole list. Every single one of them was outstanding this afternoon.
Toby Fournier, though, is, like you say, she's virtually won it all. Everything she has done. What about the next step? What she has to work on? You talked maybe free throw shooting a little bit. What does she have to work on when she's going to play against players of her ilk? She's now playing against, she's the best of the best. She's playing against a bunch of other bests and with a bunch of other bests.
Well, I think her post game, anything in the paint, she's as good as it gets. Now, everything's becoming positionless basketball, right? So she's got to work on that three-point shot, you know, allow her that opportunity to let them know, to keep them honest, that like, hey, I'm not just going to drive to the hoop every time. I can put up the three and I can score. And so, look, that'll come in time. She's so good. I mean, I've no doubt it's not a matter of if, but just when that whole game will become complete.
And her supporting cast, I was really impressed with Delaney Gibb. Her poise on the floor, her ability to handle the basketball, which she's going to take to BYU with her, and her sister who plays at Utah Valley State. What does she have to, you think, do to take it to that next step?
Well, I think one of the things I loved about her is her competitive.
Different for a point guard sometimes as well.
Her competitiveness. You saw it here. You know, I think she plays with a little chip on the shoulder. We talked about all these girls, most of them at these big prep schools in Ontario. She's at this small little high school out in, you know, in the middle of nowhere in Alberta, essentially. And so I think that chip on her shoulder is going to serve her well as she goes down and plays in BYU. Now in the Big 12, so you want to talk about competition. I mean, every single night in the Big 12, it's a grinder.
There's my boy Mark Bain there from Nike. I see we could never do that on a national broadcast. Now you can do it.
Yeah.
Stream, there's my guy. He's my guy. But yeah, so that whole team, good luck to all of them. Good luck to all of these young ladies. Some may be back next year. This was their first time. They got a good chance to come back and be in this game again next year. And I'll tell you what, they all showed pretty well for some of those youngsters who are playing in this game for the first time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could argue the class of 2025 this year is more talented than this version's class.
Wow.
I mean, next year's class is as good. It could be the best recruiting class in the history of women's Canadian basketball. So, yeah, don't slouch on those 2025s. They're pretty damn good.
Before we go and wrap up this afternoon here from the girls' game, let's, again, preview the boys' game. What you expect to see later today. Could we see, looking at the rosters, again, they're not built in any particular way, shape, or form. Probably two bigs, two shooters. They kind of divide everything up. Could we see a game like this a little one-sided, or do you see something a little more competitive?
Well, hopefully it follows the path of the next one's game in the men's one. It was close, about a 4 or 5 point game, really tight. I think we're going to see a lot of dunks, a lot of alley-oops, a lot of wow moments, and so I think it's regardless of the score, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, well, we're going to step aside and we're going to come back shortly at 5 o'clock Eastern again for the boys' game. This is a game that has great, rich history through the years. The players who played here had a chance to see them when people said, oh, they're up and coming. Well, they're not up and coming anymore. They're superstars like Jamal Murray, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Lugan-Stork. You go on and on and on. 2015 was the first time they ever did the All-Canadian game, and look how far it has come in almost a decade.
I remember watching that first game on TV, and they did it at the old Ryerson gym.
Mattamy.
Yeah, and then now it have been evolved over to U of T, now back up here in Orangeville. But yeah, I mean, you go through the NCAA this past year, over 160 men from Canada playing Division I basketball, and a good chunk of them all came through this All-Canadian game. And so it's the who's who, the best of the best, and we're going to see that this afternoon as well.
And I get a chance, too, during the CEBL season to talk with, Khalif Youngs and guys who've been there before, and every one of them, to a man, say, hey, I remember you from, the All-Canadian game. That's what got me here. That's how important today is about.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I bumped into a former All-Canadian last week, and Giovanni Scott played down at Penn State. It was down at Brock U. He's headed over to China, and I hadn't seen Giovanni in 4 or 5 years, and so he came up to me, Chris McKee, and I know you remember from the Orangeville and All-Canadian days, and so that's kind of refreshing to know that the players, it sticks out in their minds as well.
All right, you buying me something to eat?
Sure, let's go.
All right, let's go. I think it's about time we say goodbye from here at Athlete Institute. 106-90, Team Red beats Team Black at the 2024 high school girls game at the All-Canadian Games. We'll be back at 5 o'clock Eastern, where the men, the boys, the Flyers take the floor. See you then.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
We stand on guard.
For this.
For this.
And this.
True North, strong and free.
My country.
Glorious and free.
My time.
Our time.
Go time.
Show time.
With glowing hearts.
We see the rise.
Of the best.
Of the best.
The best.
High school ballers.
From all across Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada. It's time to stand on guard.
For this.
For this.
For us.
For us.
At the All-Canadian Games.